Pregame show. First, the Kings must just love playing the Cavs. Another W over a really good Cavs team. What was working so well? We'll go over all of that. And then it's time for the Kings Court. That's right. Deuce and I go over some topics and leave it up for the judge to decide who is right. Who's the judge? We don't even know that yet. We'll all find out together. And then Kings, their two-man game, it's been clicking. Deuce breaks down why it's been so effective. Excited to talk about that and this matchup more when we come back. They beat the Cavs, and it feels like they really like playing the Cleveland Cavaliers. Deuce, I guess just starting off generic, what worked so well for the Kings last night?
Well, I thought they played with pace. And I know it's so basic. It's like, hey, play fast. But no, it takes some discipline. And you have to be engaged completely off makes or misses. And they did a good job on that play. Look at that, forcing the turnover going all the way. Sabonis was awesome. Your big three with Sabonis, LaVine, and DeRozan were spectacular. They leaned heavy on the starters, all playing 40-plus minutes. But I think, to me, it's about playing fast and not getting stagnant on offense.
Yeah.
And by the way,
what?
It's pretty amazing what one win can do or a couple of wins. I'm like so back in now. I'm feeling
good. You were never
good.
out, but
well,
it's
you
like
know what
you
I'm
were
saying?
down.
I was so down. And, you know, it's like, oh, they beat the Hornets. Like, okay, good, you beat the Hornets. You beat the Cavs. I'm like, well, let me tell you, you could beat the Pistons, come home and you beat the Nuggets, and you just keep it rolling.
Take a look at the Kings injury report, and you see that Keegan Murray is out with that back soreness. Keon Ellis was questionable going into this game. He's available. He had hurt his hand after he dunked that basketball and just came down weird. And then you see that last one, Jake LaRavia still out, but we have some good news about him. We'll get to that in just a bit. Let's talk a little bit more about Keon and just the type of defense that he's been playing.
Well, I thought that was important. He set the tone yesterday, and of course his activity, we know it, 4 steals. He ends up with 6 deflections in this game. His instincts. He just has such great instincts, especially for a young player. You got to remember, this is like his second full year playing in the NBA. His first year was spent primarily in the G League, and you just see his effort constantly. And for a team that was missing Keegan Murray, he was their like one legit defender out there, and he showed up in a major way. And then him knocking down some shots I thought was critical yesterday.
Yeah, I think he's just been so decisive even with what he's doing on the offensive end, being confident with that, whether it's in a little two-man game, he's finding a little bit of space, or he's even in a catch-and-shoot situation, he's knocking it down. And by being able to do that on the offensive end is fantastic. But it's like you said, the impact, the energy, what he does on the defensive end, the perimeter pressure. We got a little update today on his status. You see right there, just basically what the Kings were putting out is after hurting his left hand, LaRavia has been cleared for light on-court workouts, and medical updates will be provided as appropriate. And you're exactly right. They missed that guy. They need his length out there. I know they're missing Keegan tonight. They're going to be missing Jake again, but some positivity seeing him out there once again when we come back. We got Kings Court, Deuce. We'll talk about that next.
Ooh. The court is in session, Morgan.
Okay. If the Kings win the 9-10 game, who's their most favorable opponent? You start.
Okay, this is going to be purely selfish, and it's something I've been saying for weeks now.
Okay.
I want it to be the Golden State Warriors.
Why?
It might not be the best matchup, because how sweet would it be to end their season again, especially with all the hype. Anytime they win a game, I feel like, it's a championship conversation comes up. It would be nice to end their season. Now, don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
It'd be super stressful to come to San Francisco and try to see the Kings pull off a W in a win-or-go-home game, but how fun would that be?
It would be so much. Think about how magical it was last year. That was so much fun. You take a look at the Western Conference standings, Deuce, and okay, that's the craziest thing about all of this. It could be so many of those teams that are in that position for the Kings to play for that after that 9-10 matchup.
I think one of the craziest things is seeing that the Lakers could finish as high as 2 and as low as 8.
Okay.
This is the final week of the season, so everything's up for grabs. Who would be your best matchup, your most favorable?
Well, you see the Grizzlies in that 8 spot. I'm going to go with the Grizz, and I think mostly because you can match up on the chaotic nature of just
both teams with coaching changes. And,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you go in with that angle, but I also think the matchup when I look around, I'm not acting like it's going to be an easy matchup, but I just think the Kings. They would have a chance.
Okay.
They would have a chance.
That's probably more realistic than mine.
We don't need a judge to tell us if we're right or wrong, right? We can go to the next question. We're going to go to the next topic. Next topic on Kings Court. Who's the most important to the Kings' success? Oh, okay. I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with Domantas Sabonis.
Okay.
And my reasoning, honor, please, let me tell you why. The way that he sets the tone mentally, physically, all the different ways, each and every single night, he's someone that you can rely on. But then I even go to the offensive end, Deuce. When he wasn't out there, it just didn't feel like things were moving right. Now him and Zach LaVine are also kind of finding more and more of that chemistry that he's been wanting to build. I just think he's someone, when the ball goes through him, good things happen. When he grabs a rebound, good things happen. There's a lot of good things that happen with this guy on the floor.
I feel like with him, you just know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And so I don't have questions about that. I know he's going to bring it every night, especially with the effort. And he's been playing much better lately, too. I think last 4 games, 23 points a game. I think for me, my most important is Zach LaVine.
Oh,
because
why?
You traded for him. He's replacing De'Aaron Fox, and you need him to play with aggressiveness and force. And that's what you're starting to see. 37 points in the last game. When he scores 22 or more points, the Kings are 10-3. So they need him to be aggressive and impactful. You can't have games where he's getting 8, 9 shots or finishing with 18, 19 points. No. He's got to be a threat to get you 30 on a given night. And when he is going, I feel like that means everyone's going.
I'm fine with this man missing his shots. I want to see the attempts because you're exactly right. His shot is so pure. There's so many other things that he's doing out there on the floor with his athletic ability, getting to the rim, being able to be crafty and finish at the rim. I can understand your answer as well. Kings Court, are the Pistons the best story in the NBA this season? You go.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Morgan, to go from 14 wins to 43 is absurd. They had a 28-game losing skid last year. They also have done something no other NBA team has ever done.
Yep.
They have tripled their win total. Saw that in the Detroit Free Press today. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. And you think about the changeover for other teams, right? Boston took a big leap when they landed KG and Ray Allen.
Yeah.
The Suns, dramatic. They went from a 20-something win team to being one of the best teams in the West when they get Steve Nash. What changed here? Cade Cunningham got healthy. Their young guys improved, and they added shooting. They didn't know that Malik Beasley was going to turn into what he turned into, right? The guy has hit over 300 threes this year, and he's doing it on a 1-year deal. So they have brought a new edge and toughness. Yep. I think J.B. Bickerstaff's done a fantastic job. For them to jump from 14 wins to this is big-time stuff.
It's huge. And I think when you look at the angle of it just being the best story alone, it's because of their style of play, too. Yeah. It's the way that they're winning. It's the way that they're playing together. It's the way that they developed together. I mean, you talk about J.B. Bickerstaff and it being his first year with them, and those are always exciting angles as well. But when you see it for the players and it just kind of all come together for them because they are putting in the work, they've also faced even more adversity this season, even with Jaden Ivey going down.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So you think about all these different things for the Detroit Pistons, especially being a losing team very much a losing team last year. It's yes, I can understand. Taking a look at the Pistons starting lineup tonight. And, we saw here and there that maybe Jalen Duren wasn't going to be playing tonight. He is playing tonight. He's in that starting lineup. He averages a double-double. We know what he's capable of with just his size, his toughness. But then you look at the Thompson twin. He's someone that can get his hands in a passing lane,
those
get
Thompson
those
twins
steals.
Are ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
I like the pick up of Schroeder, too.
Yeah.
That's a move that he didn't work out with the Golden State Warriors. Of course, they ended up going for Jimmy Butler. But that was a big pickup for him. as you see Cade there before the game. And it's so good to see him healthy.
Agreed.
I mean,
it's
you
good for the
knew
league.
what type of talent he had, and to see him out there producing at this level is just tremendous.
And the fact that it is translating into wins for this team. You know, it's funny sitting here on a Kings pregame show talking about some of these other teams and just how much we respect some of these players in their style of play. But truly, when you just look around the league, and especially at this time of the year, it's really fun to just take a step back and break down what is happening and the growth that has been happening with some of these teams and then some of these young individuals as well. So Cade playing some good basketball is another good thing for the Pistons, but the Kings need to take care of business with them tonight.
It's going to be tough too. I think the key tonight is, can the bench give you something?
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk more about this matchup, what the Kings need to do. Plus, we got to break down what Zach LaVine has been doing the last couple of games, especially last night. That's next. Looking at the NBA all-time scoring ranks right here, you see DeMar DeRozan moves on up after last night's game.
Reggie Miller up next. Can we acknowledge Jerry West for a second, the logo?
Sure.
The icon?
Yeah, what you got?
He did that without taking a three-pointer because the three-point line did not exist. That's amazing.
No Keegan Murray tonight, like we had mentioned. So Trey Lyles is going to get that start once again. And Deuce, I love what we saw from him last night.
He played well.
But also you think about too, just Keon being back in there, being questionable going into today, feeling good. But my favorite thing,
yeah,
Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis clicking right now.
Yeah, and that's obviously been a big question, is like, can those guys find chemistry? And, you know, what gets lost sometimes is the fact that Sabonis missed 9 games in the month of March, and you're trying to build chemistry with a new teammate, and the two-man action was sweet. Kings are into their split action here. You see Ellis get to Sabonis. He's going to screen down for LaVine to curl off of that. And what's great about this action, too, Okoro is going to stay attached. He gets through one screen. It's hard to get through a Sabonis screen. Boom!
Ooh, ouch.
Imagine that one.
No.
This allows LaVine to get downhill and attack, and he finishes right at the rim. The DHO game between those guys can be very effective because of his explosiveness and, of course, because of his three-point shooting. Here they go into dribble handoff again, and Sabonis does such a great job leading him with the pass, puts it right where it needs to be here. And it allows LaVine to get the space necessary to knock down this shot, gets that power dribble, right? He likes taking that one dribble before launching it to get into a better rhythm.
Love.
Boom, buckets from LaVine. Now, teams could try to take it away, and how are you going to adjust? Like on this play, they're going to run a little DHO action again, and you're going to see Donovan Mitchell is going to go under that screen. But this is great IQ by both of them because Sabonis reads it well, and he's going to re-angle and screen, and that gives Zach LaVine an opportunity to shoot a three. I mean, he could have drove too, but he takes a shot because he's comfortable taking that shot. Those guys didn't click early on, LaVine and Sabonis, but you could see it now.